Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. We are back. I have been very excited to have this young gentleman on. Don Long is the president, CEO of Lake Nona Regional Chamber of Commerce. And if you know anything about Florida or Central Florida, for sure, you know Lake Nona is just exponentially growing. There's so much going on out there, even during COVID-19. So welcome to the show, Don. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Ted. It's nice to be here for the first time.
I
So
know.
thank you for the invitation.
You're absolutely welcome. Love the background. You got good lighting. Somebody hopefully helps you with that because I need help every day with that. So before we take a deep dive into what's going on in Lake Nona
Sure.
and all the opportunity out there, let's learn about you. So give us a little background on Don Long, please.
Well, I am fortunate enough, as you mentioned, to have been brought in as the CEO and also president of the Lake Nona Regional Chamber of Commerce. I have had that job since October of 2017. Since then, because of the efforts of our board and everything, we've exponentially grown along with the community. We've more than doubled our membership to current date from that time. And I'm not taking the credit for that. I'm taking this opportunity to thank the board and the community for that level of success. Before that, though, I had quite extensive experience with chambers of commerce. I was a former chair and also acting CEO and president at the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce. And they're a very close collaboration partner with us. We share memberships with each other. And preceding that, I had the opportunity to enjoy driving boats at over 100 miles an hour with Mercury Racing and offshore racing for about 5 years. And before that, served 27 years as a United States Marine and retired from that position as the public affairs chief of the Marine Corps serving in the Pentagon.
Wow. Thank you
So
for
kind
your
of a
service.
broad spectrum of experience, which, I've really enjoyed.
So that brought you, the racing part is the part that I don't think I knew. I knew about your service. Thank you very much for your service. But I didn't know about the racing. How did you get into Mercury? How did all that come to play? Were you driving the boat?
Well, I wish I could say I planned the whole thing, but just a little aside, as I was sitting there at my desk in the Pentagon and I knew I was anxious to retire, enjoy life. I've always loved boats. I've owned a boat since I was 14. And I said, well, I'll just go play with boats somewhere. So I started fielding resumes, and this gentleman who managed Mercury's secret test facility called Lake X down here in St. Cloud called me up one day and he says, hey, you want to come work at Lake X? And having been around boats all my life, I knew exactly what he was talking about, but I thought he was kidding. But anyway, the next week I went down for an interview and they hired me. I started there, became service manager. The great thing about it was we didn't actually drive the boats in the races. What we did, the racers brought the boats to us to make them go faster. So we were actually able on a private lake to take boats as fast as they would ever go. And we would always give them a sticker that was put on the back of the boat. It said dialed in at Lake X. And we always promised that the boat would never go any faster until they brought it back to us. So it was just a great time, and wish I could still do that. But Mercury, unfortunately, moved everything up to the Panama City area.
I did not know that.
Central Florida, so I made the decision to stay.
Are you driving your own boating your own boat? What is it? Captaining your own boat at 100 miles an hour?
No. I'll give you an anecdote. One of the most senior guys here, he said, Don, when I was brand new, he said, one of the best ways to become a millionaire is be a billionaire and take on offshore racing. So I took that lesson to heart.
You have lots of love people are showing you. LaShanya, hey Dave, Dennis, Tyrone, Teresa. Lots of love for you, Don. Let's talk about the Lake Nona Chamber. First of all, I believe it or not, I had one or two questions prior. As we start to promote, people will reach out to me prior to the show. Mm-hmm. And I had somebody ask a question that at first I thought was really just not a brainiac question. And I thought, you know what? Let's define it. Chamber of Commerce. What is the purpose of a Chamber of Commerce? I had people say, ask him, is it part of the government? I think the answer to that's no, but I don't know. So tell them a little bit about a Chamber of Commerce, and then let's dive into Lake Nona.
Well, as a matter of fact, that's probably the most frequent question we get. Is the Chamber of Commerce part of government? No, we are not. We are a membership association. And Chambers of Commerce came about as a board of trade. So originally the genesis of it may have been, say, a group of shoe cobblers or tailors or something like that. And they thought that in their general community, they could work better to promote their businesses and also the community by joining together. So from that, Chambers of Commerce grew as membership organizations. And our focus, I like to think of our focus as a catalyst of bringing businesses together to grow the community, a convener of bringing the influential people of the community together to help that focus. And then also we turn it into championing the effort to make the entire community a good place to live and an opportunity for success for everyone is there. So it's not only focused on businesses like us. We're focused on the entire region. We have people from St. Cloud, Orlando, both coasts that participate in our programs in Lake Nona because of the rate of growth there. But we focus on the good of the community, whether it's education, nonprofits, everything that we can help to make the community a good place to live and grow.
One of my favorite things about the chamber, well, there's lots of camaraderie in chambers. There's lots of opportunity when you are a member of a chamber and you get involved in your chamber. As a business owner, I can't imagine not being part of at least the chamber that my business is in, because that's where you grow your centers of influence. That's where you meet people who are established business owners or people in your community who can help connect you. And so there's such a great spirit of collaboration and connection with the chamber. And I think a lot of the younger crowd miss out on that because there's a lot of other peripheral opportunities out there industry-wise and things like that. But I always tell people, if they ask me, start with your chamber, start with your local chamber and work your way out, because there's just so much information and education and connections available. And Lake Nona is
the chamber community appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Lake Nona, because of the growth, it's a hot spot. If you mention Lake Nona, somebody's trying to get in there. They want to open a business in there. They're excited about the latest giant growth project. So give those people who don't know about Lake Nona a little bit of history and background, and then bring us up to speed as to what's going on.
One of the hardest challenges in my job is keeping up with Lake Nona itself. And of course, we're frequently asked the same questions that you're asking right now. But Lake Nona, around the mid, 2004, 2005, Tavistock bought 17 square miles, about 11,000 acres, just south of the airport. And that acreage actually spans across 417. We're less than 15 miles from the airport. And their focus at the time, and I do not want to get this wrong. So here's the idea, Lake Nona mission statement, okay? So their mission statement is to create the ideal place that inspires human potential through innovative collaboration. So when you take that mission statement and think about the kinds of things that they're doing in the community, where you have almost everything you need for support. It is known as the medical city, but now it's expanded to much more than that. They made sure that transportation is available. We have one of the first areas that has an autonomous vehicle fleet that when they get back in operation is called BEAT, will be able to take people from place to place. doesn't require drivers or anything. So those
Wow.
kind of modern, advancements are what they focused on. But I mean, you ask about the history, I'll tell you how fast it is. The 2010 census actually had that area at around 1,500 residents.
Wow.
Right now, we're approaching 70,000.
Wow. It's just tremendous. Why the growth? Is it because, do you actually attribute it to UCF choosing that as the place for the med school? There were lots of things simultaneously going on, but that seems to be the one that people remember. And then, of course, USTA coming in.
Right.
But do you attribute it to that? Is that really where the growth has sprung up from and then kind of taken a life of its own?
Well, many of those folks that work at those concerns or those places of employment actually don't live in Lake Nona. So, I mean, we have a large part of our community that actually commutes back and forth to Orlando and other places to work. The key, I think, is that within 4 or 5 minutes, you can be somewhere to have a nice dinner, go out and meet friends. There's numerous parks around the area where you can recreate. There's more than 40 miles of bike trails that you can just get out and ride your bike. I don't know of a road in Lake Nona that doesn't have a bike trail on it. And then if you go out along Narcoossee Road, you have everything out there that you can imagine, from restaurants to big box stores to, large grocery facilities. But I like to also tell people that information that I gave you, Lake Nona, really covers 2 zip codes. 32827, 32832, and you can research that in the property appraiser's website or whatever. You'll find out what the growth is like. But for that zip code, west of Narcoossee Road, which is Lake Nona proper only, owned by Tavistock, $1.3 million a day in construction.
Wow.
And of course, Tavistock's a major driving force of that because they like for everyone to be successful. So, they want to make sure that they give the people that want to come there and open a business a great place to open a business and work. That does not include east of Narcoossee Road, which is known as Eagle Creek, but we also include it in our region. And all you have to do is drive down that road and you'll see everything that is going on, both sides of Narcoossee Road. Now it's reaching south. There's almost no definition between Orange County and Osceola County any longer. You cross a certain road, but the construction, the progress, and everything is still there, and it's just continuing.
It's amazing to me driving up and down. I haven't been out in a while, but driving up and down the main drag there. I grew up here, and so we used to bus kids in. I went to Colonial High School from Lake Mary Jane Road, all the way Lake Mary Jane Road to Colonial, right. Which, if you know anything about Colonial, it's 436 and East and Colonial Drive, and it's not a close trip. So it used to be nothing but a few houses, beautiful lake houses, and then it's just grown so much. I did, because I'm in the real estate world, I'm a mortgage guy, did an open house long before COVID, and it was St. Cloud, and you could see Lake Nona from this. I don't think people I didn't realize how close it was.
Right.
Until I did that open house. It's also, there's part of it that's in the city limits, correct? Orlando city limits?
Well, Lake Nona is entirely in the Orlando city limits.
Which also baffles my mind, because I'm in the city limits and I live 5 minutes from downtown-ish, maybe.
Right.
And so it's just fascinating how it's all, I think people don't realize the depth and breadth of Lake Nona.
Well, the great thing about being in that situation is you have all the support of the city, and then you also have all the support of the county backing you up there. And what I found being an advocate for our members is that both of those entities do their best to serve the community. If you want to open a business, they try to make it as easy as possible. They don't try to put any unnecessary roadblocks in your way. You've got to make sure you can take care of your customers and do the right things. But for the chamber, I had to go through the same process. So the great thing during that was learning that process and being able to record it. So, one of the things I do, once a month, I have a meet with the CEO opportunity. And if someone wants to open a business, I'll sit down and tell you what I learned. Of course, I'm no expert, but I'll tell you everything I learned if I can.
I love that.
And even when you cross Narcoossee Road, small parts of that are parts of the city, but the majority of it are county oriented. So we have the opportunity on different occasions. We'll invite Mayor Demings in from the county to come give us updates, and then we'll invite Mayor Dyer in to give us updates. And we have a county commissioner and we have a city commissioner that are all interested in what's going on in that region. So it's great to have that kind of support.
I love that. Yeah, you're very much epicenter because you have a lot of different communities around you, and because you're a regional chamber as well, there's so many places that you touch and they get touched by you. I had a question from someone who said that they have tried in the past to get involved with different chambers and they weren't successful. So I thought, well, let's ask, what's the best way for a beginner, somebody who's a new business or somebody who's never gotten involved in the chamber? What's the route they should take? What are some suggestions?
I would suggest using a more modern approach to membership. A few years ago, the way someone would become involved in the chamber would be a phone call from the chamber, or someone would walk in your door and drop a card off, and then you would join. We've made it so easy, number one, to get started, because you go online and you can join online right there. Once you're a member, one of us is going to contact you and lead you through the processes of everything that you receive as a member. So just a quick, for instance, if you're opening a new business, free of charge, once you're a member of the chamber, on our website, you can post hot deals. And those hot deals go to all our membership. It also goes throughout our social media. So if you have like a grand opening special, you've got free advertising already available to you. You can also post job openings there free of charge. And then you can do special discount coupons member to member. That's one of the best starts that you can get. And it all comes with a chamber membership. At the same time, what I recommend, and I also am I'll put it out there. I'm also a licensed yacht broker in Florida.
A licensed yacht broker. I love that.
I had a really good success with it. I'm still active. But the way I started that successful business was with the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce and taking advantage of free business counseling provided by the Small Business Development Center. And I was able to go in for multiple 1-hour appointments where I was helped through my marketing plan, my business plan, everything I needed to know to become a successful business person in Central Florida. And we offer that same free service to our members and non-members. But if you're interested in opening a business in the area, call us and we'll get you signed up and enroll for free counseling. I mean, what better could you do than do the right thing from the very beginning? Too many of us think we know it all.
Absolutely.
It doesn't take long to figure out you don't.
I think that chamber, like any group, if you haven't been involved, you feel intimidated. But what I want to tell people is that's on you. Trust me, the people at Lake Nona Chamber, pretty much every chamber I've ever been involved with, there is no intimidation. They actually are trying to figure out ways to help you on a daily basis, is how it feels when you're working with the chamber. And I think people just don't know how to maneuver through. So those are some great suggestions. I think they feel like they have to, it's going to be a whole bunch of old people like me in a corner somewhere reminiscing about the old days. And that's not the Chamber 2020, I can tell you.
Well, it's not for most chambers, and particularly for our chamber. I mean, the demographics for Lake Nona, at the average age is about 41. So that's a fairly young age group. So you have people that are progressive and want to get to know other people and how you can work together. Some chambers do a lot of leads groups, which you're probably familiar with.
Yes.
Lake Nona's been fortunate. There's been leads groups that have functioned there for many, many years. We don't need to redo something that's already successfully happening. So what we do as also a chamber benefit is that once we're able to get back and safely do it, and even right now we're having virtual meetings like this, but we will go back to having our monthly meetings. We usually have a lunch and a breakfast and an after hours event. The great thing for that is that you get to meet new people almost every time. So for instance, one of our after hours events, we may have 90 to 100 folks there, and 20 of them would be non-members, brand new people. So if you're a business person looking for the opportunity to develop relationships and grow, I don't really think there's any better way to do it.
Agreed. I totally agree.
We kind of like that plan of how we're doing it. And I think we're going to stay with that a little bit. The other thing that I do want to put in, though, that I think, and I kind of miss this about what chambers do, supporting the community and providing support. For instance, during this pandemic, our chamber, we like to believe, was the first source for our members of documented, factual, actual, substantiated information. That was our job.
Yeah.
So every morning, first thing, finding out from the governor's office, from the 2 mayor's office, from neighboring counties, from the Small Business Administration, from the banks, from the people that were actually telling us what we could share with our members to help them out through this challenge. And, I'm proud to say that with the help of my staff and my board, we were able to garner a lot of complimentary remarks from government officials and also the members on how they appreciated getting that kind of information. And we share it with members or non-members. It's for the good of the entire community.
Great.
That's what a chamber should do.
That's certainly your approach, all of you at the Lake Nona Regional Chamber, for sure. And I think that's why I love having you on, because it's not only this growth is out there exponentially, but people also have a resource at the chamber that is friendly and up to date, and they have their technology down as much as any of us can. And you guys just have a really great overall package, and your impact on the community, I think, is just incredibly strong. I had somebody ask me if there's any recent additions to the Lake Nona community as far as corporations or any coming up that have surprised you.
I'm surprised every day. Because, you really have to keep your ears to the ground in Lake Nona. When Amazon came along and KPMG and all of these gigantic companies that come in and want to participate in what's going on. Our new teaching hospital that's going to come online late this year, as long as construction keeps up with it. And that'll mean that we will not only have that gigantic and beautiful VA facility there, we also have Nemours. We've got the college and the nursing, and we're going to have a cancer research center, which is going into the Sanford Burnham building facility. So it's just a constant thing. I think, though, looking at the future, Lake Nona is no longer primarily the medical city. It's a destination. And you see that with the addition of Drive Shack and also Nona Adventure Park. Both of them came online in the last year and a half. But the town center is expanding, which, by the way, the two Tavistock most popular restaurants, are 2 of them anyway. Canvas and the Park Pizza have reopened as of yesterday.
Fantastic.
At reduced capacity. But when that town center fully comes online with the new Wave Hotel that's scheduled for that opening next year, and then after that, they start construction of the new Lagoon Hotel, which is going to be the other side of 417. I think the lagoon there is going to be 17 acres.
Wow.
And it's all like a freshwater pool.
That's amazing.
So it becomes a destination. You already have USTA. You've got professional tennis, and you've got everything else that it's just going to be so exciting to watch everything. And the town center is going to have a bowling alley, a fitness center, a lot more retail space. And every time that they do that, they also build in the office space down there as well.
Right, which is so critical.
Right. So you can just walk out of your office and walk right down to town center, and have a great lunch or meet your friends for a happy hour, go to the gym. That's what it's all about.
So I am 1000% sure we have convinced anybody who needed convincing that they should get involved in the chamber. What is the best way for them to reach out to the chamber?
Two best ways. You can I'll give you three. You can do the old-fashioned phone call, 407-726 and 2260, or email, and that's easy for me. I'll take it and make sure it happens right, and it's an easy email, ceo@lakenonacc.org, or go to our website. It's by far the easiest and the quickest, and that is lakenonacc.org, www before it, of course, and you'll see it there. Join now. And it takes you through the entire process. You can choose. By the way, we have a special until the 31st. That's May 31st. That we are awarding 3 extra months at the regular 12-month rate if you decide to join before the 31st of May.
Awesome.
So we're running that as kind of a coronavirus pandemic kind of special for our folks, to give them a little bit of time to think things over and a little bit of financial stress. And you can choose to pay your membership one time. You can spread it out over 12 months. You can do it quarterly. You can do it semi-annually, whatever you like. And if there's ever a problem, just drop us an email or give us a phone call.
That was amazing, Don. Thank you so much. I love everything that's going on out there. I absolutely love your organization. I love the Lake Nona Regional Chamber. You guys are the epicenter, as far as I'm concerned, out there of what's going on, and support for the community. So thank you for taking time out. Guys, reach out to the chamber. When you do monthly payments on a membership, you really have no reason not to get involved. There goes that objection, Don.
It can be as little as $20 a month.
See, $20 a month.
Right.
You're not spending it on Starbucks right now anyway. You're golden.
And when you attend an event, you get a membership rate.
See, there's so much. You guys should check it out. Reach out to me if you want me to put you in touch with someone there. Reach out to Don. Reach out to the email he gave you, the website scrolling along the bottom. Thank you so much, Don. It was awesome. Appreciate all you do. Thank you, Ted, and thanks everyone for joining us. We really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you all in the Nona. The Nona. The Nona. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'll be back later on. All right. Take care, Ted. Thank you. Bye, guys.